Hey guys, thank you so much for attending the Neighborhood Hope virtual training for our new student binders that will coincide with the iReady software that we are implementing for these kiddos. I am so excited about this. I really feel like this is going to make a huge impact on their education, not only because it is a little more hands-on and a little more interactive, but also because it is specific to each of the needs that these kids have in terms of the parts of their education that they've kind of missed or need to relearn. So your willingness to learn something new and implement this with us is huge. So I just want to start by saying thank you, thank you, thank you. So what you see here is the lesson that Michaela will have finished by the time that you show up at tutoring. This is her iReady lesson online. So you can see that she is working on phonics and she's working specifically on letter learning, S, R, and D. She will be doing some one-to-one letter sound correspondence, which means that it is one letter that makes one sound. So once she wraps up her lesson, you're going to go to the binder, and in her skill binder, I just want to walk you through a few pages. So the first page is simply her login information in case she ever forgets that. Her next page is kind of like a fill out sheet, sort of like what you were using when you were filling out those sheets in the folders, but I'll walk you through what this is going to be instead. So I will fill out the date and the iReady lesson that the students are going to be completing. You'll see here it's Phonics 1. And I'll explain that naming in just a moment. And then you, at the end of the lesson, will fill out the progress, any hope bucks that you administered or took away, and any notes about the lesson. Just a quick mention on the next page of her binder, you'll notice a bunch of vocabulary words. These you don't have to worry about quite yet because the kiddos, most of them are not at the vocabulary section of their learning yet. However, once you identify a little bit about their vocabulary needs, you will see that one of the sections talks about introducing new vocab words, a couple new vocab words a week. These are going to be academic vocabulary words. And what I mean by that are these are words that the kids are going to see in their instructions and in their learning in all academic subjects, math, social studies, science, and so on. What we're finding is that these kiddos a lot of times don't have the vocabulary knowledge to be successful in their subjects because they may not have the vocabulary understanding of the math terms, and so then they don't know what they're supposed to be doing. They don't know what's asked of them in the directions, or they may not have the vocabulary understanding of a science term that then would limit their understanding of what they're reading in science. So eventually you will be introducing some of these words to your students each week. So I just wanted to let you know that that page comes next. So now we jump into the layout of the binders in terms of their lessons. So you see here I've circled that Phonics 1, teach one-to-one letter sound correspondences. It's under the phonics category. It's the first lesson. So back here where you see Phonics 1, that's where we got that name from. These are basically the next 20 or so lessons that Michaela will be doing that you will be working with her on. And then just wanted to point out that's where that vocabulary will begin for her. So in the Phonics 1 lesson of teaching one-to-one letter sound correspondences, we see a little list of letters that she'll be working with today. So the bullet points give you a little step-by-step of how to introduce the lesson. So you'll write the letter V on a note card or a piece of paper or a whiteboard. It's totally up to you, and say the sound V. When you see a letter with those two lines on either side of it, that's telling you to make the sound of the letter. So you'll walk through each of those bullet point steps, helping Michaela interact with the V sound. And then you'll do the same with J, J, W, W, X, X, K, K, Z, Z, and Y, Y. Now, after you've walked through those couple of bullet points, the next step down here is called Tools for Instruction. Now on tools for instruction, what you are going to notice is that it gives a name, match other consonant letters and sounds. Now, that means there's a worksheet attached with this lesson that will walk you through how to do this. Here's the worksheet titled Tools for Instruction. So you'll see I circled the title, match other consonant letters and sounds, which you'll notice matches up with the tools for instruction on your sheet previous. If those don't match up, let one of us know so that we can make that right, because we don't want you accidentally teaching out of order or the wrong thing because of an error in us assembling the binders. So up at the top, it gives you a little bit of background knowledge about what you need to know to teach this lesson. Then it'll give you step-by-step instructions. It even tells you about how long the lesson will take, in this case, 20 to 30 minutes. So you don't have to finish this lesson in one session. Don't feel like you have to rush through it. If you don't finish the lesson, no worries at all. It'll just carry on until the next week or the next tutoring session, whenever that student returns. So the first thing you'd be doing with Michaela is introducing the consonant letter sound, and it kind of talks you through step by step how you would do that, and then gives you an example in blue. Please feel the flexibility to do this how you'd like. If you want to draw a picture card and hold it up for her, you can do that. If you want her to make the picture card, go for it. It's totally up to you. What it means by key picture card would be like a picture of a hat. And then she would understand that that makes the sound first. We will try to place in that front pocket of the binder any materials that are necessary for the lesson. But if you're ever missing something, or you could think of something that would be really useful to have, just let us know. We can grab it for you, or you can head back to the office and grab it yourself. So we just want you to have that freedom to use the resources we have on hand, because we do really have so many resources, and we want you to know that those are available to you. Part of these lessons is that because it's more than just a worksheet, you can kind of make it your own. Feel the freedom to have creativity. If having the freedom for creativity makes you nervous, then no worries. We'll supply those things for you if you ask. I did want to point out one thing. The word phoneme, you may see that a lot in phonics education. It basically is a letter sound. It is the smallest sound of the English language. So or b or v are phonemes. So they'll walk you through step by step. Step 1, introducing consonant letter and sound. Step 2, model making the letter sound match. And again, it gives you the example of how to do that in blue. And then step 3, you're going to provide practice with letter sound matching. And then finally, step 4, they're going to be having you provide practice with initial and final consonant sounds. So identifying words that start with g and words that end with g. And that's going to continue to build her letter sound recognition. At the very end of each worksheet, they give you a check for understanding. So if you observe that Michaela is still having trouble by the end of this lesson making the letter sound matches, then you can try what they give as the suggestion. And that all that means is, hey, she didn't master this skill in one lesson, and that's okay. Some of these lessons are going to take teaching and reteaching. You have to remember that a lot of these holes in their education came very early. This specific student is in 3rd grade, and she's having to go back and relearn letter sound recognition, which means that was something she should have gotten in kindergarten. So you're going to notice that some of these lessons take a little longer, or they may not get it right away. Don't worry about that. We're not expecting perfection. Please don't expect that of yourself or of the student. This is all just us recognizing needs and doing the best we can to meet those needs, but it may take a while. So at the end of the lesson, I just want to show you what a filled out sheet may look like. It's very simple. So like I said earlier, I will fill out the date and the lesson that you'll be doing. I'll also put a Post-it note there so that you can turn straight to that Post-it note and you know where to go. If she completed it, you'd write complete. If she didn't complete that worksheet part, then you'd click or you'd write incomplete. And then any hope bucks that you administered or took away. I gave her 10 hope bucks because she did a really great job and she worked really hard. If you didn't finish, just jot down where you left off. And that helps either the next tutor know what to do, or when you jump back with that student the next time, it helps you know where to leave off or where you left off. So I just want to end by saying thank you so very much. Your willingness to learn something new and implement a new system is so appreciated. This is going to make such a big impact on these students' education and on their lives. What I love about this is that it's not just a worksheet, it's more interactive. So not only are we taking a better approach at helping them grow in their education, but it's also a really great opportunity to build those relationships between tutor and student. So I'm so excited to see where this goes. Please, any questions you have, any concerns you have, anything that doesn't seem quite right, reach out to me. I'm always willing to help and shift and adjust. And I'm just so thankful that you guys are here, and just know that you are loved and prayed for. All right, well, that's it.